Hello, welcome back. In a series of revealing correspondences and social media exchanges, new layers of a scandal involving Dr. Stephen Lawson have come to light, casting a spotlight on the internal dynamics and mounting challenges within several ministries. Dr. Lawson, a widely respected preacher, professor, and contributor to Ligonier Ministries, was recently removed from his position at Trinity Bible Church of Dallas after admitting to an inappropriate relationship with a young woman. This affair, spanning 5 years, has ignited an intense debate over accountability, transparency, and trust within church leadership circles, raising fundamental questions about ethical standards in ministry. The revelation of Lawson's affair not only caused his dismissal from his pastoral role, but led to his swift removal from academic and leadership positions, including his professorship at the Master's Seminary and his role at One Passion Ministries, an organization he founded. For many within these circles, the affair was a shocking breach of trust, especially given Lawson's long-standing reputation for moral integrity. This betrayal has left supporters and church members grappling with difficult questions about church leadership and moral accountability, stirring public discourse about the steps religious institutions should take when such breaches occur. A significant twist in the unfolding scandal emerged through a private exchange between Phil Johnson, the executive director of Grace to You and an elder at John MacArthur's Grace Community Church, and a longtime Ligonier Ministry supporter named Casey Stotts. Stotts' subsequent public sharing of this conversation further stirred the waters, as it revealed Johnson's defense of Lawson and complicated circumstances surrounding the relationship. Johnson initially posted on social media that Lawson's mistress was not a member of his congregation, implying that she had no direct ties to his ministry. This statement, however, did not align with the photograph that Stotts posted, which showed Lawson seated beside the young woman during a church service. When confronted, Johnson clarified that the woman was indeed geographically distant from Lawson's Texas-based ministry, but that there were occasions when they crossed paths publicly. This attempt to clarify the geographic connection drew criticism from some who felt Johnson's comments minimized the impact of the affair on Lawson's ministry and the potential knowledge of church members. Johnson's responses, while intended to clarify the relationship's nature, inadvertently fueled further controversy. In one message to Stotts, Johnson insisted that Lawson's mistress, residing in Washington state, was introduced to him by her California-based family, who were personal friends of Lawson and donors to his ministry. This detail of personal ties and ministry support deepened the complexity of the connection and raised further questions about the role of close relationships and trust within ministry networks. Throughout his correspondence, Johnson emphasized that no elder at Grace Community Church was aware of the affair, stressing that integrity would be upheld if any knowledge of the situation came to light. However, Johnson's clarification that the woman was a consenting adult and a graduate of the Master's University at the time the relationship began added yet another layer to the story, showing how the boundary between personal and ministry relationships can sometimes blur in close-knit faith communities. The scandal surrounding Dr. Lawson has spurred calls for greater transparency and accountability within religious institutions. Supporters and observers argue that church leaders must uphold the moral standards they preach and adhere to, not only to maintain trust within their congregations, but to serve as exemplars of integrity. Incidents like this one expose the delicate balance leaders must strike between public accountability and the responsibility to protect the private lives of those involved. Lawson's situation is not unique, and there is a growing discourse on what protocols should be in place to address such situations. Some argue that religious institutions often lack clear, standardized procedures for addressing breaches of conduct, leaving them vulnerable to inconsistent handling of these sensitive issues. Others contend that churches have a duty to engage openly with their congregations about leadership misconduct to foster a culture of trust and transparency. A central factor in the public scrutiny surrounding this case has been social media. Johnson pointed out that accusations often gain traction online without thorough validation, leading to a proliferation of speculation and misinformation. In his closing comments to Stotts, he urged caution, stressing the importance of verification, all before adding to rumors that could cloud an already painful situation. In the age of social media, ministry scandals often unfold in real time, with the internet amplifying both facts and falsehoods alike. This phenomenon has led to a re-examination of how religious institutions communicate during crises. The handling of the Lawson case has become a case study in crisis management within religious organizations, with some calling for a more proactive approach in addressing rumors and clarifying facts early to prevent further confusion and speculation. Lawson's fall from grace has reignited a broader debate within Christian communities about the moral responsibility of church leaders. Supporters argue that when leaders fail morally, they must be held accountable not only to their peers but also to the communities they serve. For some, this means resignation from public roles. For others, it means a period of reflection and repentance followed by efforts to rebuild trust. In recent years, a series of similar incidents within various ministries has underscored the urgent need for better structures of accountability. Many advocates are now calling for more transparent practices, including regular evaluations of church leaders and clear policies. Regarding personal relationships, they contend that such measures could help prevent future scandals and foster healthier, more accountable church environments. For many supporters, the revelations about Lawson's affair have been deeply painful. Longtime listeners and followers of his teachings have expressed a range of emotions from shock and disappointment to anger. In sharing her frustration, Stotts voiced a sentiment felt by many: the longing for transparency in a world that often seems to lack it. Her public challenge to Johnson reflects a broader desire within church communities for honest and open communication, even and perhaps especially when it pertains to the shortcomings of beloved leaders. Supporters of Lawson's ministries have faced a difficult choice in the wake of this scandal: whether to continue supporting the organizations he was involved with or to distance themselves as a form of silent protest. This dilemma reflects a common struggle for congregants who look up to leaders as moral exemplars but are confronted with their very human failings. As the scandal continues to unfold, some ministry experts suggest that it could serve as a catalyst for reform within church leadership structures. They argue that religious institutions must develop clearer guidelines to address breaches of conduct and maintain consistent standards of integrity. Proposals for reform include establishing third-party oversight committees, creating anonymous reporting mechanisms, and increasing transparency in leadership appointments. The revelations surrounding Dr. Stephen Lawson's affair have posed difficult questions about leadership integrity, accountability, and trust within religious institutions. As ministries and congregants alike grapple with the implications of this scandal, it is clear that the need for transparency and moral accountability is greater than ever. For many, the affair is a painful reminder of the vulnerability inherent in placing trust in human leaders. As church communities strive to move forward, it will be crucial for leaders to adopt a renewed commitment to ethical principles, ensuring that they serve as genuine role models for the faith communities they lead. The lasting impact of this scandal on the broader Christian community will depend largely on how ministries address these issues going forward. In the end, the commitment to integrity and transparency will be essential not only to restore trust, but also to uphold the values that define the faith itself. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe.